Welcome to the Farm Show. This week we're out north of New York Mills with Howard Legrid. Howard is a well-known retired veterinarian, having been a vet in the area for many years. We're on his farm because besides doing the vet work, he also built up a farm here, he and his wife Lou. So Howard, it was beef cattle and sheep, or what did you all have going here?
We had beef, cattle, sheep, and hogs, and then we raised barley and alfalfa at the other farm to feed them, yeah. Got rid of the pigs first, and got rid of the beef cattle once and got them back again, got rid of them again. The most we had was 700 head on the place in about the year we built the house, like about 70, 71. Mostly lambs and pigs, so, you know, little lambs, little pigs.
There's still a lot of activity on the farm, though. Howard's got a lot of outdoor things here. With the lake, you used to have a dock out there for canoeing.
Yeah, yep.
Tennis, what do we got for that?
Well, we built a tennis, I was a tennis player, so before we had the house out here, tennis court's 50-some years old, and the guy that built it was really good because the concrete's still good. And I've driven tractor on it. We have a hockey rink on it in the winter, and it's still good tennis court.
Dual purpose, huh?
Yeah, so he did a heck of a job with the concrete.
Yeah. The primary reason we're here today, though, is because of the sheep pasture. With Howard's sheep, he's got them on the pasture, and it doubles as a golf course, which has been here quite a while, and it's a well-established course. It's the only course in the New York Mills area.
Yeah, we put it in, well, I think like 34 or 5 years ago, and it come about because he used to, both the veterinarians and the MDs used to get a lot of stuff from the drug companies, and so if you bought $10,000 worth, you got a golf club set. Well, I got them for my daughter, who was like 14 at the time, and it came with a great big honking Spalding set that weighed a ton. So then I put we had 3 holes. We had one over by the oak tree there, one across the road, and one here, and we started with that. Well, then we built quickly, and I got her different golf clubs, or she did, and so then we started expanding it. And a guy that was a golf coach in college and that, he put the par on it, and then, as I showed you today, we've changed it some over the years, but he put the original par on it, and we're still using the same par.
9 holes, and you see the fencing back here. There's some spots you gotta open and close the gate to get through because the sheep gotta be on certain pastures, and some of them holes are just beautiful back there. We got some nice greens.
We used to have 4 breeds of registered sheep, so you had to have separate pastures or it ain't going to be purebreds, you know. So probably the #1 rule is close the gates, and the biggest problem if people would leave a young kid to do them, and if they're not a farm kid, they didn't know how to shut the gate. And the same thing with the water. We'd have water on the greens, and they're supposed to either move it and leave it run and put it back, or I'll shut it off and turn it on again. So that was some of our problems. And then a farm kid could walk up to these fences and climb them, but a lot of the others would run and jump in the middle of a fence, going to go over it and break the board. So that's 2 of the big rules: is shut the gates and don't climb the fences.
So Howard don't have to fix fence to the next day. Okay. Well, yeah, a nice 9-hole course, sand traps, greens. I mean, it's good. The Wednesday night league, is that done now for the year?
That's done for the year. We had our playoffs, finished our league, had our playoffs and everything, yeah.
And otherwise open golfing is available?
Yeah. And once upon a time we had over 50 in the league, and I'm looking at a 1996 diary that lays by my chair all the time because of WCCO weather calendar diary, and so I got a lot of information in there, so that don't go to the other diaries. I've kept diaries for over 40 years, right, every day. And in that time, on the playoff we had 40 that night for the playoffs. What they do, and the top guy plays with the bottom guy, and like that, you know, so you're pretty even playing. Well, this year we had 16 or 18 in the playoffs, yeah. That's a little different than 40, because of the original golfers that started here, I think there's only 3 of us left. And otherwise we're looking for young guys to golf with us all the time, or anybody to golf with us, yeah.
Do any school teams ever come out here?
Yeah, they used to come with the buses out here, especially Verndale. They'd come in, there'd be a yellow bus there. They'd call me ahead of time. but I knew the people that were teaching and lining up, and they had two regular Phi Ed class and a different. Eric Weber used to bring another group out here, and they would golf out here, yeah. And church groups I've had line up and come out here. I've got a church group is coming later this year too. They set the dates up ahead of time. It's kind of hard to close the course because, you know, how do you tell people not to come when they come from 30, 40 miles away, some of them. The year with the most golfers, the only year I sat and counted, we had from 75 Minnesota communities, 25 states, and 5 countries. But the countries, of course, is usually somebody's relation, like our relation from Norway or our relation from Scotland. And so it would be somebody's relation coming here.
The farm, the Valhalla farm, that's Norwegian name.
Yep.
And the golf course, I'm looking at your cap.
It's Lewis Scottish ancestral farm where they farmed that farm in Scotland was Bell Hepburn, and it means House of Hepburn. And that's not their name. Their name was Rob. But when Valhalla, of course, you know, is a Norwegian heaven, or where do they go when they're dead and died bravely in battle.
And so we got the classic Scottish golf course going here. Sheep pasture.
A lot of long
Can't get any better
grass.
than that. Yeah, and well-tended grass. Looks nice out here. So,
Yeah, when we started, I was cutting the fairways with a brush cutter, and we had actually more golfers than we got. They lost a lot of balls because the fairways were like 4 or 5 inches deep.
not that anymore. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's changed.
And the sheep, they don't seem to mind.
No, the sheep and the horses, and somebody's always worried about hitting the sheep when they have a few times, but the wool impacts it.
They're all right.
Jump. And most of the time a ball lands above them, and you can tell if you came close because they get jumping. Usually where the sheep are is when you're going to that raised green out there. And you really don't want them there because it stops your ball and you don't get as far as you want to.
Hurts the score. Okay. Well, thanks for showing us this. This is interesting.
Okay.
Golf course in the country and crossed with a sheep pasture. So, thanks for watching the Farm Show. We'll see you next week.